So thank you so much joining us, Faryal from London at this point of time, and it's a wonderful possibility for our platform, for audience also to see your perceptions, and it's a wonderful topic we're going to be covering today. Says like divorce coaching, a guiding light through speculations or through separations. So a wonderful topic, and once again, thank you so much joining us, appearing on this platform and giving your precious time. And this is a platform where we try to sort of, introspectively and kind of, with analysis, look into certain sociological issues and challenges that come across in our society, global society. I'm talking about. That's the reason we sort of keep conducting different national and international interviews. And you're one of that participant. Thanks a lot joining from England, ma'am. So I would like to start with my first question, also your brief introduction, and you've been practicing your divorce coach practice in London, and you also have a wonderful research and academic background, which is very well reflected on your online data and accounts, and your work is highly appreciative. It's scientific and research based work. That's the reason. And thank you so much once again, ma'am, joining. We would like to, I'm going to ask you first question, which is certainly a very important question, says, what exactly is a divorce coach and how do they differ from lawyers and therapists?
Dr. Surinder, for having me on and to allow me to talk about this because a lot of people don't even know that divorce coaches exist actually. So, my name is Farial Parvez. I'm a CDC certified divorce coach and I'm licensed to practice internationally. I have clients primarily in the UK, US, and Canada. Now, you're probably wondering what a divorce coach is. I'm basically a part strategist, part emotional anchor, and I guide individuals through the divorce process, whether you're contemplating divorce, you're in divorce, or life after divorce. So I'm your supportive ally. A lot of people think divorce first thing, lawyer. Of course, everyone needs a very good lawyer. And the second thing people think, oh, I need a therapist. And yes, a therapist is very crucial. I think everyone should have a therapist. However, when it comes to the actual divorce process, the therapist cannot give you the help that you need. They're more interested in maybe what happened to you as a child, why you chose a certain partner, and, so that you don't make those mistakes going to a new relationship. So I basically help. A lawyer deals with the legal strategies, the court proceedings. A therapist will focus on your mental health and emotional healing. As a divorce coach, I bridge the gap between the two, right? And I help you get very organized and make sure that you use your experts properly so that the system and process is more efficient and effective and you save money. I'm basically like a project manager for your divorce. So I keep you on track. I clarify your priorities and ensure you're mentally prepared for each step. And I'm a big believer in collaboration. So I have a great network of family lawyers, mediators, therapists, and financial advisors so that I can create a holistic support system for my clients.
So much responding this important question, like bridging the gap between the two communities, being divorce coach and then lawyers and therapists, and what's the difference and your important role in that. Would like to move on to my second question. Again, one question says, why do people going through a divorce need a coach, and what key benefits do they provide?
That's a great question. A lot of people will ask, well, why do I need a divorce coach? I'm already paying a lawyer so much money. However, people forget the lawyers are good at the law. That, I see so many times clients spending an hour, 2 hours with their clients seeking that validation, that emotional validation, maybe financial advice, but the lawyer is not equipped to do that. And it's very costly to sit down and talk to your lawyer. So you could sit and talk to your lawyer for an hour and a half and have a huge bill at the end of the day and not really get what you need out of that conversation. So divorce is like it's the most traumatic event anyone can go through. And I think what happens is in today's society, it's still framed as a very negative connotation that, oh, you got divorced, it's an end, but it's not. We need to reframe divorce. And, as a divorce coach, one of the key benefits I provide is letting people validate their feelings and emotional trauma. It's not an easy decision to say, I want a divorce and leave a toxic marriage. And as a divorce coach, I validate those feelings, and it's totally normal because you do feel anger, you feel resentment, you feel anxiety, and these are all normal things. But if you don't process them, when you're actually going through the divorce process, you're so emotionally charged that you're not making the right decisions for yourself. And these decisions impact your future life. They impact your relationship with your ex, who you might have to co parent with. And most importantly, it affects your children. So having a divorce coach on your side really helps you learn to not be reactive, but make the right decisions so that you can, transfer into your life after divorce and be more successful and more happy with the decisions you've made.
Yeah, thank you so much. Important comments from your side. Like you used a negative connotation, bad stigma, which is attached to a divorce process, and how do societies and different, sociological perceptions around this problem or around this disconnect happens to be. That's one of the area you've thrown good lights. Would like to move on to my third question again. One question says, what are some common emotional and logistical challenges that a divorce coach helps clients navigate?
Like I said previously, emotionally is, I think, the largest benefit I help provide clients, because often, because of how society and the world sees divorce, there's a lot of guilt attached to going through a divorce. So you're grappling with grief, anxiety, just fear of the unknown. Like, what is my future going to look like now? So, as a coach, I help you process these feelings constructively rather than reactively, and prevent emotions from derailing your, negotiations, and so that you make the right informed decisions. Logistically, I help you deal with your lawyers. So I make sure that you're using your professional expertise more efficiently and more cost effectively. So I can help you draft, an email to your lawyer, or just talking points so that things are done more effectively. For example, like maybe you have a question about dividing assets or understanding legal jargon. I can help with that. Maybe you need help with creating custody and parenting plans. I can also guide you in that. So we basically assist with paperwork, getting you organized for dealing with your experts, the lawyers, the financial advisors, outlining the steps for financial planning, and this just helps clients strategize to calmly make the right decisions and prioritize their financial needs during settlement talks.
To sure if understand that you help the process constructively, not reactively. That's very important in this process, because it seems like emotional pain and a lot of others psychological and social pain is also seem to be existing here. So would like to move on to my fourth question. And one question says, how does a divorce coach empower individuals to make informed decisions during the process?
As a divorce coach is basically to empower my clients to make sure that they have the right tools to evaluate all their options objectively. So the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to make the right decisions, right? I use scenarios, like I help clients create pros and cons lists to just very objectively look at what they're dealing with. What is it like they actually want? What is not that important for them? Take the emotion out of the decision making. I have to make sure that the client is aligned with their core values, so that their long-term goals are more successful and they actually can stick to those goals. I can help a client articulate their non-negotiables when it comes to a custody agreement. And I really help clients to self-advocate for themselves and help them critically think. So that empowers the client to make the right decisions, and they feel empowered because they did things on their own terms. I have seen more and more through the practice that I'm in, that a lot of people just want to get through divorce quickly, sign the divorce papers. And lots of times that happens and they think their life will just fall into place, but they have a lot of remorse because they didn't negotiate properly. They didn't focus on what they actually wanted. They got so emotionally charged that it was becoming a fight, and they didn't realize what kind of impact this would have once the divorce was finalized. Now, a lot of times, once a divorce is finalized, everyone goes, the professionals are gone, and you're stuck now with your new life as a divorced person, maybe a single parent now, and you still have to deal with your ex. And a lot of people don't think about these things. So having a divorce coach on your side, I really help you empower your journey through divorce and also post-divorce.
Through the process, when the divorce is happening, you're assisting as divorce coach, and even the divorce format you helping candidates, such a comprehensive support from your end. Very important and vital support. Would like to move on to my fifth question, which is a wrap-up question also, ma'am. So it says like, can you share a success story where divorce coaching significantly changed someone's experience?
Who decide to get a divorce because they were in a very toxic, abusive relationship. However, this person was married for several years and they were used to this trauma and of their ex controlling every aspect of what they did. So once the divorce was happening and she was in the process of divorce, she wasn't able to let go of that relationship. She was relying on her ex spouse to tell her what to do because she was scared to deal with him. So she would just take a step back and let him make the decisions, which create a lot of problems while she was going through divorce. Luckily, I was able to step in and I taught her how to create boundaries and made her realize that she left for a reason. I let her validate all those fears she had, and she realized that, oh, yes, I am doing the right thing. She had a lot of guilt on her that she left her husband and she has two small children and she's put her family in this very sensitive now stage of life. However, working together, she realized that was the best thing because she wasn't being her best self. And if you're not your best self, you can't be a good parent. You can't be successful at anything you do. So we really were able to create boundaries, and I helped her deal with her high conflict ex. And her co-parenting became much, much more easier because instead of feeling victimized, she felt empowered. A simple example I'll give you is that lots of times her ex would send very aggressive text messages or emails threatening her and everything, and she would react. Now she knows, let's take 24 hours, let's take the emotion out of it, and let's focus on the kids. And that's the number one priority for my client is the well-being for her kids. So I always tell her, before you answer an email or text from your ex, think about how does this impact your children, and will it have any benefit for them? And just having that mind shift has worked wonders for her. So we helped establish boundaries that she's able to stick to, and now she's not reactive when she deals with her ex. And at the end of the day, the priority is on the well-being of the children, and she's doing really well. She's transitioning really well, and she feels much more empowered and not scared of her ex now. They're actually working as a team. So it's really nice to see that growth.
One questions, ma'am, and the topic was certainly very important. Says like divorce coaching, guiding light through separation. A very important and attractive topic. And then you talked about divorce coach and their role and the differentiation between lawyers, therapists, and how do they differ and stand out, and people going through divorce and the benefits and the challenges, emotional problems, logistical supports, and responses, and how to empower individuals. Then you talked about decision making. Then you talked about and how to keep emotion out of it, making relevant and scientific decisions and success story you talked about. Thank you so much, ma'am. Such a big and massive narrative that you put forward before our audience. I'm sure they'll be drawing major chunk of information, quantitative and qualitative. It's really a scientific body of data for academics and research purposes. As you're already familiar, that RESO is a platform where we try to step through the noise to cause you most relevant and reliable and accurate sociological narratives and explanations for the betterment of our society from research point of view, from academic point of view. That's the reason you're on board. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again joining us from England.